Content provided by our bloggers or authors are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, municipality, individual, or anyone or anything.
He's a surgeon. He's a 100-ton boat captain. He's a lieutenant on Seaside Heights Beach Patrol in New Jersey. He's a member of the Coast Guard Auxiliary. He's Dr. Michael Kachmar. Need answers to your medical questions? We have them. Listen in to hear latest on medical topics related to all that and more.
This goes to me. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Michael Kachmar. Welcome to Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar. This is our special Pearl Harbor Day.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. What's today?
Pearl Harbor Day?
What's today? Listen, today is December 7th.
December 7th.
It will live. The day will live
on in
infamy. Yes,
Wasn't
this
that
is
the, Hindenburg?
Well, no. So this is Pearl Harbor Day, and anyway, I want to wish everybody happy Scrubbing Up Day. And I'm Dr. Michael Kachmar. I'm a board-certified reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon. Today's date is December 7th, like we said, the year of our Lord 2022. I think it's about 80 years, 84 years. I'm trying to think. When they, Japanese hit Pearl Harbor.
I read somewhere that the ambassador of Japan went in and said that there won't be peace, walked out, and seconds later, Pearl Harbor was bombed.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
That's some dirty pool there. I don't care where you're coming from.
Well, that started right after that. We declared war on Japan, and then Germany declared war on us a week later. So, anyway, Jeremy, say hello.
Hey, everybody, how you doing? This is your old pal Jeremy.
So,
what's up? What's going on?
Yeah, this is Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar. I'm a board-certified reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon. We are on right now YouTube Live, Rumble Live. Facebook Live. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Oh, we're also on Twitter and Twitch. I think we're on Twitter live right now. Jeremy, can you throw up our phone number? If anybody wants to call, we have a phone number here that we have now. We've been doing this for a while.
Do we have a thing for it?
Yeah, it's down there somewhere, but I'll give you the number. It's up top. It's 732. The number is 732-237-4949.
Oh, I see.
There
right
it is.
there.
Two stairs. So we have it up on the screen. It's 732-237-4949. If you want to send us an email during the week or any time to contact us, it's drkachmar. That's drkachmar at iCloud.com. So it's drkachmar at iCloud.com. And the other thing is Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center.com is our webpage. And that takes care of our, where you can get a hold of us. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. And, subscribe to us. Please subscribe to us.
Yeah, subscribe. If there's bell notifications, please press those. And if you could just give us a share, maybe, it might take you a split second more to do. But it helps us out a lot, and we love
Jeremy.
You for it.
So, Jeremy, what we're going to talk today, let's go to whiteboard. I want to go over this because this is complicated stuff. Right, let's go to the videotape. This is complicated stuff here, and this is all about marijuana use.
Well, you wrote it pretty plain for some complicated stuff. Okay.
All right, well, that's good. We try. So here it is right here. Well, so marijuana. And I put there, is it safe for people who can't see it?
Just like 9 words up there.
Yeah, well, this is important, but these are big words, big words.
Big words.
And one of them is it a gateway drug? All right, is it addictive? Does it cause? What does it do to the brain health, and heart disease? And we're gonna touch upon those all today.
Now, I've talked on this show before. I smoke medical for medicinal purposes. I have really bad diabetic neuropathy, really so bad that it's like needles and slivers of glass.
Right.
But the one thing about marijuana that I cannot stand
stinks.
Beyond that, I actually don't mind the smell. It's the memory loss, short-term memory loss. Forget it, man. I can't remember anything anymore.
And that's why it's dangerous in children whose memory is being formulated.
Yes.
So that's where we're going to get into this. So let's go, as we say, to the videotape. So I want to make it. Listen to me, people. This is really important. I want to try to explain this before we go to my iPad. In New Jersey, in when they passed the marijuana law, the Governor Murphy, and the marijuana law was basically you have to be 21 years of age to smoke pot, okay? And it's supposed to be in your house, not in public. You can only carry a certain amount with you. But then they also passed legislation at the same time. And that legislation in 2021 basically said, it didn't, not basically, but it said it's not.
21 at your home, that sounds responsible to me.
No, right.
Yeah.
But then he passed other legislation at the same time.
Right.
They added on. This wasn't what they proposed initially. But anyway.
So initially it sounded all
right,
okay.
right.
All right, understandable.
So
sure.
right after that, in 2021, they added 2 amendments to the bill, and basically, or to the law, and it basically said that if you're under 21, okay, you could smoke marijuana. It's not criminal, and it's not delinquent. Now, following what I'm telling you, it's still against the law. Marijuana, if you're under 21, it's against the law. Right. But he put a but. It's called the but law. I call it the but law. B-U-T. No. It's not B-U-T-T. It's B-U-T. Right. And it says if you're under 21, okay, it's not criminal and it's not delinquent if you get caught smoking. And the police cannot tell your parents. Okay. The police cannot tell your parents.
See, this is the problem that I have with America today. Like they make things so convoluted. It's ridiculous. So, smoking it underage is illegal, but you can't get in trouble if you do it, and police can't even tell your parents about it, and they'll just tell you, "Hey, you shouldn't do that."
Right, or we give you a warning. Now let's go to the videotape, as you say. Let's just hang on. But let me give you a basis here because we got a lot of stuff to unpack here.
Okay.
So this is, just want to note the date here. This is Asbury Park Press. This was published on February 24th, 2021. Okay, just want to give you, so it says, yes, you can smoke weed in New Jersey with some restrictions. You just can't buy it. Now, this is a little bit article here, but I want to let you know here. This is important. This is now history. Governor Phil Murphy on Monday signed 3 bills into law, a package of enabling legislation. That's a great word. That puts the constitutional amendment overwhelmingly supported by vast voters last year, making New Jersey the 13th state to legalize weed for adult use. But you can actually get high today in the gun. Okay, so yes, the answer is yes. So blah 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 blah. I just want to go here. And you can only possess up to 6 ounces, but I want to keep going here. And what I want to say is that this was passed in 2021, and what it says here is that the state under the law. This is for people who are 21 or older. You understand? I want to put that.
Yeah, but it says here, yes, you can smoke weed, said Rich Lamoro, a criminal defense attorney, with and then he goes on to say, if you can just, you can smoke weed, just not in public places.
That's
similar to the restrictions that are historically used with alcohol and cigarettes.
Right, but that's if you're over 21.
Yes.
Now, there's companion law, okay, and I'm going to pull it up in a minute. I just want to find it here. I got to find it here, and I don't know if I have it here. So, okay. While marijuana is only legal for adults over 21 years old, and while marijuana is only legal for adults over 21 years of old, a third legal weed law essentially decriminalizes it both for underage marijuana and alcohol use. Marijuana and alcohol use. Even if they observe the underage person using marijuana in plain view, they can't conduct a search. This is police. Police officers can only issue written warnings to underage users and must have their body cams turned on at all time, according to the law. In the press release, the New Jersey State Police Benevolent Society said the bill handcuffs police officers. This statute adds so much guesswork and uncertainty that we would advise our members throughout the state to take no law enforcement action regarding marijuana or alcohol use by any party in the state. Let me repeat that, okay? Let me repeat that. In the release, the New Jersey Police Benevolent Association said this bill handcuffs police officers. This statute adds so much guesswork and uncertainty that we would advise our members throughout the state to take no law enforcement action regarding marijuana or alcohol use for any party in the state. And that's minors. Minors. Now, if you look at this isn't 2021. Let me go ahead.
But that sentence is saying for any party.
Right. Well, if you it has
but not just minors.
No, but the law. That's why they screwed it up. How can you have a law and say, okay, if you're 21 and older, it's against the law to smoke it in public. You can only have so much on
you can't enforce the law, so it's not a law.
But then they go, well, but if you're under 21, it's not criminal. You can't tell the parents, and you can't arrest them. So then,
that's stupid.
Do you understand? Yeah. But here's the thing, and they have reasons for this. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. But here's the thing about this. What I want to make a point. There is legislation now, and I don't know if the governor signed it, where the state legislators said, no, we got to reverse that. You got to be able to at least contact the parents. In other words, they're not. So right now, when this bill came out, it's not criminal or delinquent for a minor to use it. Now, how low? I read some places where if they're under 16, then the parent has to be known. Then I read other stuff. It's under 13. But basically, what I see in real life, go back to me. Well, you could keep that. What I see in real life, Jeremy, is this. I see in real life that we see it on the beach. I see it in public. The cops are not doing anything because they are told they can't write a ticket. They can't tell the parents even. That's where I'm getting upset. And
can they tell the kids not to smoke it?
Yeah, but the kids can tell. Yeah, sure they can.
So, but the kids can just tell them to go
fuck yourself.
Yeah.
They do. They smoke it right in front of. I mean, I see it on the boardwalk. I see it now. Here's the thing, Jeremy. You have smoking laws. People say, okay, what about the smoking laws? The regular smoking laws basically say you cannot. It says tobacco products. I read the literature. It says tobacco products. Now, I see boardwalks and places say no smoking. Period. Now, they could give you a ticket. Whether or not that, when you go to court and the lawyer goes there, I don't know if they're going to dismiss it or not. Because if it was not cigarette and it was pot, you could say, well, I'm allowed to smoke pot. Look at the statute. Yeah. Now, I don't know if they changed it. This is 2021.
But I feel like this is inviting belligerence toward our police officers.
Oh, absolutely.
Because what's the difference between like telling somebody that at what point does the law matter again?
Well, that's my point. That's a good issue.
I know it's like another point, but I mean that's the thing that worries me because it's all going to be a domino effect eventually, where this is going to trigger this and that and that.
Well, here,
but I want to know why children can be that disrespectful, and you're almost inviting it to happen. At what point do they start taking a police officer seriously again?
Well, that's a good point because it's setting a bad trend. But here's how I look at it. I want people out there to understand because I talk to people and they don't get this. Right now, if your child is out there smoking pot and they're under 21. Now, first of all, in New Jersey, it's illegal to drink alcohol, just so you understand, or pot under 21. But there's a but law. But and then Murphy, our governor, signed this, is that you can smoke it and drink out in public or anywhere, and all you get is a warning. Now, there is legislation to say that warning has to go to the parents, but at this point, I haven't seen that. So I'm going by the 21 law that was passed. Right now, the cops can't give you a ticket. They could give you a warning, and they're not allowed to talk to your parents. They can't even, if you're driving down the road and the pot's coming out of the windows and a cop pulls you over, they can't do a search for marijuana because of the smell. And they have to have the body cams on. There's actually, this law was actually in the face of the police saying
Yeah.
I don't want you involved. This is, again, defund the police, get the police out of it. So now what has this happened? So you say, what's the big deal, Mike? So the kids are 12, 13, are smoking, marijuana. What's the big deal? And the parents won't know about it. And think about it when you were that age. If you were given the ability to do anything you want, you're going to do it. There's no...
Yeah, but see, what you said there, that's the difference. See, without the law, okay, without anything being legalized in this state or anything like that, these kids could be smoking pot anyway, right?
They'll get locked up, though.
I understand that. I understand that. So these kids could get, and they would smoke it anyway, okay?
Okay,
but
so...
now you're saying, oh, there's a law against it now, but... It's okay because it doesn't really matter.
No. Yeah, right.
You
But
gotta let me finish my thoughts.
Okay,
so
I'm sorry.
So I can get to them.
What were your thoughts? I'm sorry.
So my point is that we get people used to understanding that laws are there to govern us.
Right.
Okay. The kids are going through freaking social studies in school, and they're learning about all this stuff. And now we're telling them that, the laws are in place, but that one doesn't really matter. You went on to go further and go into a deeper explanation for that. But if we can't even keep to our core that laws govern us and they should be followed, anything more complicated than that, how can you understand it or believe it? Like, what's going to stop them from following any other law or not following those laws if it's their whim to do?
Maybe. I understand what you're saying, but what I was bringing up, my thing I was bringing up...
I think it's more of a gateway to anarchy, to be honest with you, on the streets. Because if you're going to make laws that we can pick or choose to follow, that's kind of scary, don't you think, Mike?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. What you're saying, I understand what you're saying, and here's what I'm saying, this is what the law is. And my thing is, you're encouraging children to smoke marijuana
and break laws.
Well, they're not breaking the law because Murphy made it. It's not illegal anymore.
Yeah, I know, but it's still considered a law.
No. Well, now I don't understand. No, the law says you have to be 21 or older.
Yes.
He put in an addendum. If you're under 21, it's not against the law. Okay, so basically,
does it actually say that word for word?
Yes.
Or just you don't.
No, I just
follow
told
up on it.
No. Let me go back here. I go right here. So this is where you're getting confused. Okay. No. The law he signed is 3 bills. He signed 3 bills into law. Mm-hmm. Okay. The first one. So this is important that people understand this. This is where it gets so confusing. Okay. All right, Jeremy, because I know where you're going on, but the law says this. Okay. That you could smoke recreational weed. Weed is now legal in New Jersey. You understand that? Okay? You have to be 21 years of age to smoke pot.
Have to.
Listen to me. This is the first part of the law. It says you have to be 21. You could possess up to 6 ounces, right? And if you have without a penny, even a minor ticket, like so you could have that. Now, much like alcohol, a marijuana user can still be charged with DWI and blah, blah, blah. I'm just going fast here. Now, so it says, and while marijuana is only legal for adults under 21 years of age, okay?
Wait,
right?
What does that say?
It says, look, and while marijuana is only legal for adults over 21 years of age. So, and while marijuana is only legal for adults over 21 years of age, a third legal weed law essentially decriminalizes both underage marijuana and alcohol use. Even if they observe the underage person using marijuana in plain view, this is the police, they cannot conduct the search. Police officers can only issue a written warning to the underage user and must have their body cams turned on at all times, according to the law. In the press release, the New Jersey State Police Benevolent Association said the bill handcuffs police officers. This statute adds so much guesswork and uncertainty that we would advise our members throughout the state to take no law enforcement action regarding marijuana or alcohol use by any party in the state.
Party in the state.
So what I'm saying is the law is supposed to be over 21. That's how it was passed. They came down and said, yeah, it's still there, but we're going to decriminalize it, and it's not delinquent. So I don't know. Then that means
So what's a law when you've decriminalized it? Nothing.
Right.
Is it even a law anymore? Like, are we just
okay? That's my point.
That's my point.
Right. So now, listen. But the practicality of this. Now, let me make a point. This is 2021. There's legislation now in New Jersey to push back on this, to at least let the parents get a warning. You understand something? If your child is caught with marijuana, according to this law, and they're under 21, 18, 14, 15, whatever, the cops can't even give you an issue, issue a warning, but they can't even tell the parents. Now, supposedly there's legislation that warning has to go to the parents and all that, but it's still not illegal. It's still not it's not criminal, and it's not delinquent. So what message do you send to the kids? Smoke it. If I'm 12, 13, 14 years old, right? If I get back in the day,
not just that though, Mike.
Alcohol too.
Alcohol as well.
So if you get caught with that stuff, your parents should be told about it.
So now we're
then
not
you
talking
get in
about
trouble.
something.
You get grounded. You get your phone taken away. There's none of that.
Yeah, but
There's none.
but see, adding alcohol into that sentence.
Yes.
Now we're not talking about something relatively new.
No.
Being.
No.
We're talking about some tried and true laws.
Right.
That don't mean anything for a certain particular age group.
And if you, I mean, what about vaping? What about cigarettes? Now, what I want to make a point of, so we understand the law now. Now, there is people trying to change it. I don't know if it changed. There was some bills that were unanimously voted by the legislator and supposedly went to the governor's desk. I don't know if they were signed. As of this summer, working in where I work on the beach, and I can tell you, it was all over the place. I know no police officers that I know are writing tickets or doing anything for marijuana use. And in fact, some places, if you're smoking, they'll try to give you a ticket for smoking, but if the law is you can't smoke tobacco products. So I don't know where if you could even give these tickets. But here's the thing.
I mean,
so
but here
okay,
you
you understand. So you understand.
Trying to teach. We're trying to teach these little kids. The importance of laws, what they actually mean, and all of that. And most of these kids don't even know what an ounce is, let alone anything else. I mean, like this is just really ignorant.
Now, but listen to this now. There's politics involved, but listen to this now. Now these kids, now you're encouraging these kids to smoke. They asked me this: does this law encourage children to smoke pot?
Does it encourage them
Yes.
if they knew about it? Yeah.
No, they all know about it. They know about it.
Yeah, but no. I mean, but
No,
it depends upon how.
If the cops, if they're smoking, and listen,
Yeah.
they know. They listen.
I mean, because everybody's got an old brother who's going to give you the down low.
Listen to me. I'm
and
asking you a
tell
question.
you.
The question
Yeah.
is: will this encourage people to smoke marijuana?
Yeah.
Younger and younger and younger.
Yes.
There's no reason for them not
100.
to if they want to.
Well, you've just given them license to.
Okay, now here's the thing: is it illegal? Is it legal? This is the next question you should ask. Go to me. I want to make it because I want. This is the guy right here. Go back to that. This is the guy right here who is deciding all of these policies under the governor. Get me.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Here's the deal. These children who are smoking this, right?
Yeah.
Cannot buy it. This is an important point I want to make. So if you're 21 and older, you can legally buy pot in a dispensary.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only like 13 of them, whatever. Now, if you're underage, under 21, you can't buy pot.
Right.
But the governor and this attorney general says you could smoke it. It's not against the law. It's not criminal. It's not delinquent. So where are you going to get it? So they're telling you it's okay to use. Yeah. Where are you going to get it, Jeremy? Where are you going to get it?
I'll tell you where.
Where?
From a pot smoking drug dealer.
Right, a drug dealer.
And I'll tell you why.
That's
why.
Good. That's
okay.
Good. Go ahead. Why?
Because I've actually I think about this stuff. Well, now that marijuana is so easily attainable in this state, you can just go to any old vape store and you can get the herb. You can get a cartridge for vaping. You can get anyhow you want, right? So
but you could get a drug deal, right?
No. But what I want to express is. and you're getting it for pretty much about 50% less than what you would have on the street. Okay. So now you've got all of these drug dealers out there that were selling the pot at their normal high prices and stuff, but now they're losing all their customers. Okay. And you're going to find that those drug dealers, just to move their product, are going to be looking toward younger groups.
Right. Well, here's what happens is you talk about gun violence in the cities.
This is going to trigger a lot of things and a lot of pieces moving.
Remember, what's happening too at a lot of these with marijuana is they're putting fentanyl in it, spicing it up. You're going to encourage drug dealers. Now that's why you look at Philadelphia, New York, where the gun crime is out of control. It's what it is. It's the gun crime in the cities, to me, is drug deals. It's always been. I trained in the city in Philadelphia. It was the crack cocaine wars. They were killing each other. You just opened up a huge market in New Jersey for children. It's like the mafia. You think about it. They're selling. Remember, the Corleone says we're not going to sell to kids.
Yeah.
They're selling. They are making it legal for children to smoke. They're taking the parents. The parents are not allowed to get involved. The police can't do anything. In fact, the police, if they tell the parents, they could get locked up. So you're encouraging it. Now, people say, Mike, what's the big deal? What's the problem with pot? What's the big deal? Why can't you do pot?
Yeah, because the drug dealer is going to say, well, if the cops' hands are tied and nobody cares, then why should I?
All right. So let's go back to right here. First, let's talk. Is marijuana safe? This is why I'm telling, because people out there going to understand, your kids are smoking the shit out of this. There's nobody going to stop them. The police are not going to stop them, maybe in school. And that's another thing. I talked to a school teacher. They're like, they have strict no smoking in the schools, but then the kids smoke outside, or at home. There's
Is marijuana considered smoking?
Yeah, well, listen. So let's talk about.
But that's how I get like.
Well, we're going to talk about. I got studies here.
I get furious about this stuff because that's the sort of thing. All this little minutia that happens when you put these things into play. Like you have to check.
Go. I know. You got to check what you got to.
Well, I mean, because all right, so I can't smoke it here, but I can smoke it over there. But I can't smoke it if I'm this age, but I can smoke it when I'm this age and younger.
Yeah.
And you can't
confusion.
tell the parents and the police don't really even matter anymore because what's the law anyway? I mean,
confusing.
It's madness.
So is marijuana a gateway drug? You could go into a million articles here. I'm just picked a few. This is on the NIH. National Center, this is National Library of Medicine, all right? And this is published, this is an older article, and this is actually Law of Medicine Ethics, 2022. Cannabis as a gateway drug for opioid use disorder. So what they call, it's interesting how they articulate this. They basically said that there's a diagnosis now where they call marijuana, this marijuana syndrome. But this article focuses, and this is a great article. I'm going to go to the bottom here at the end of it. I just want to show you what it says here. This is, and I could show you.
That's a lot of text for those of you watching on.
No, but I could give you 100. I could give you.
Podcast.
I could give you. I want to show this, but I'm going to talk about it. This is an article, and I can show you 20 of them. This article will focus on a lot of concerns that cannabis use among adolescents can act as a gateway to harder drugs such as opioids. Long described by drug policy reformers, the gateway hypothesis poses that a drug such as cannabis could lower the threshold for addiction. Let me say that. Pot could lower the threshold for addiction or other substances such as opioid. Behavioral and developmentally, it is clear that many of the shared root causes, genetic predisposition, trauma, unstable psychiatric syndrome, thrill-seeking, impulsivity, delayed discounting, blah, 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 that increase in individuals' likelihood of using cannabis also increases the same individual's likelihood of opioid use. So this is a lot of studies. So in summary, several converging lines of inquiry have shown that adolescents and young adults, this is up to 24, brain development is key to executive functioning and behavioral control, that cannabis can change adolescent gene expression and alter these key periods of neurodevelopment, that genes can predict the primary impact of cannabis on opioids, and that there is likely individual variations of risk of cannabis use in adolescents having a deleterious effect on adolescent brain. I know it gets into it, but variable exposure, and addiction. So basically what they're saying here, this is a very complicated article. I just want to throw it out. 20 of these articles, it is a gateway drug. In certain people, it's going to open up the floodgates. And if you read, it pushes you into, it gives you, people who smoke marijuana are more likely to drink alcohol, heavy duty, and cigarettes. But to say that it's not a gateway drug, and it does screw around your head, okay?
Yeah.
So this article, if people want to grab this, I just want to throw it out here. And it was an article, this article here is medical ethics manuscript, and I'm trying to think who the author was. Arthur Robin Williams. Oh, Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah. It's a shame what happened to him.
Yeah. So get rid of me here. Let me go back to me. Let me find another article. So so is marijuana a gateway drug? I can tell you right now, there's a lot of articles to say that it is a gateway drug. We talked about it, and I know when you're smoking this pot, what they're doing too, you know how it's a gateway drug too? They're putting fentanyl in it. They're spicing it up.
I mean, these next two things here, I can answer that right for you. It's addictive, yeah, it is.
All right.
Brain health, yeah, it affects
All right.
it.
All right. So let's go back to the video. Yeah. So let's go. So I just want, but we got to show these articles. So this is an article here, and this is American Addiction Centers. Okay, it's an article here. This was published. I'm trying to see when it was published. This was December 2nd. This is just recently.
Yeah,
December 2nd.
Do we need an article to show us that it's addictive?
Yeah.
I don't think we do. I think at this point we all know it is.
I got 20 people.
Why was
No,
it-
listen,
why was it-
Jeremy, I have people that tell me it's not addictive. I have people tell me it's not. I have people argue with me.
I want to meet these people. And
I'll bring
see
them
if
in
their
here.
point of view
I'll
is
bring
even
it.
valid to begin with.
I'll bring them in here. These people don't believe this. The people who made the laws in New Jersey don't believe this. Yeah. Okay, so listen. That's why we have to prove it. You think it's obvious in your mind?
No, because these are probably the same people that think germs don't exist.
Listen, most kids don't think it's addictive.
Yeah, because they're kids.
Right,
They don't
exactly.
know.
Okay, so marijuana can be problematic for some individuals
And you
who
know
use
what?
it.
No, I take that back. All kids know. I had assemblies where they brought in a police officer and they brought in a drug user.
Right,
Okay,
right.
And that drug user showed you everything the drugs did to him.
Right,
That
right.
was wrong. Kids know.
Right. Well, I can say,
Everyone knows.
Jeremy, if we don't, parents don't know. Hopefully, we're getting to some people out there. So listen to so here it is right here. Despite relatively widespread perceptions that would suggest otherwise, so frequent marijuana use is associated with the development of psychological dependence, a distinct withdrawal syndrome, and addiction. I used to hear people say, "Oh no, you get a habit, but there's no addiction," and it's bullshit. And here is marijuana this is a definition is a mind altering substance derived from the flower. We all know that. This is I'm on the internet. I'm sorry, guys. So
We got to start printing these out instead, I think.
yeah.
And
Get
just
me
talking
out of
about
here.
them.
No, it's a good article, but the let me just try one more time to get it here before we get I might. So this article here is addictive, and it's definitely addictive, and effects of marijuana. You could read all these articles, but I want to make a point. There's 20 articles that I could pull up. Okay, just pull me back up here, Jeremy.
Oh.
Right here it says it is estimated that 1 in 10 adults who use marijuana will develop a cannabis use disorder. That's the new word now, cannabis use disorder. And it says here, marijuana accounts for nearly half of admissions into substance use treatments for youth between the ages of 12 and 17. So, it's not addictive. But they have to be put into facilities.
I know it's addictive.
Yeah, but you understand, parents don't know this. And why do we have laws? If it's so addictive, why does the state of New Jersey give kids a pass and not let police tell their parents or give them a ticket? Why can't we give them a ticket? Why can't we stop it, okay? So withdrawal symptoms, significant discomfort, distress may lead to person to return to marijuana use to avoid experiencing withdrawal symptoms. All right, you could close me down on that one. So getting back here, it's a gateway drug. This is no doubt about it. I've been talking about. I have people yell at me today, Mike. It's not a gateway drug. It's not a gateway drug. I smoked marijuana for 20 years. Well, you know what? I asked these guys, when did you start smoking? Oh, I was 20, 25. These kids now are smoking at 12, 13, 14, 15. It's a different mind. And the marijuana is very, very powerful. It's a heavy-duty drug. is addictive. People will argue with me and tell me it's not addictive. It's addictive. You agree it's addictive.
Yeah, it's addictive. Of course it's addictive.
All right, let's go.
To say otherwise is absolute stupidity, to be honest
well,
with you.
then there's a
People
lot of
have been saying it's addictive
Nah.
forever.
I got people argue with me every day that it's not addictive.
I think the people that are arguing also smoke secretly, and they're not telling you.
I got doctors.
And they just...
Listen, I got an orthopedic surgeon buddy of mine. You know what he tells me? He says the problem with his child is that he didn't know how to use his marijuana correctly. This is a father telling me about his son, why his son had some problems because he had to teach him how to use. He wasn't using his marijuana appropriately.
Remember that commercial from back in the day? And again, this again tells me we've learned all this. Now we've decided to forget everything. We used to have a commercial that was on every frickin' day. It played so often. Everybody saw this thing. And it was a kid, and the father comes in and he's yelling at him, where'd you learn how to smoke pot? What are you doing? Where'd you learn how to do that? And the kids just screamed back at the father, I learned it by watching you, Dad. I learned it by watching you. I mean, this isn't old stuff. This is stuff we knew about. We used to put it up on our TVs all the time. And now for some reason that I can't fathom, we've decided to say, you know what? None of it mattered anyway. And it might, so some people are arguing that it isn't addictive now.
Right.
That means we need to put this back on the TV and more again.
Well, listen to this.
We should never have taken it down to begin with.
So I want to put a point now. You got these young kids. Now there's a billboard that I saw in Bayville, and there's a Hispanic girl. It says, "Are you pregnant and addicted?" Okay.
Yeah.
So now you got these people thinking, okay, it's not addictive. It's not that bad. It's only it's a natural herb, and so they're smoking it while they're pregnant. So go to this article here. This is another one. Now this is out of Harvard University Graduate School of Arts and Science. Okay. And this article, when was it published here? Jeremy, you got to understand, I'm a physician, and this is how we work. We do articles. We do peer review articles that are important, and this is how we push our And this was January 16th, 2019. Okay, this is a while ago, and this is about people who are using marijuana. And it says here, relative silence from the scientific community has affected the public opinions on the safety of marijuana. 70% of U.S. women think there is slight or no risk of harm to the baby from using marijuana during pregnancy. Let me just repeat that, Jeremy. You just said it's addictive and all that. Well, you're a minority. It has affected public opinion. The safety of marijuana. 70% of women think. This is what their statistics are. There is a slight or no risk of harm to the baby from using marijuana during pregnancy.
Yeah, because they want to smoke it. Yeah, it's completely self-serving. So yeah, of course they believe that. It's the same people that are arguing that it's not addictive because it's self-serving. So they probably smoke.
Right. So
I smoke and I know it's addictive.
Right. 3 large-scale longitudinal studies, which are good studies, tracked how maternal cannabis use affected their children's development, and they have had surprising consistent results. So this is 700 pregnant women who use marijuana, 79 to about 200 of those children and adults. Blah 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 blah. And I'm gonna through here. Children of marijuana use were more impulsive and hyperactive, and exhibited behavioral issues, lower IQ scores, and memory problems when compared to children of non-users. These mental health problems persist through their teenage years, where they were significantly more likely to have attention problems and depression. Marijuana exposure children were also twice as likely to display delinquent behavior such as drug use by the age of 14, were more than twice as likely to readily use marijuana and tobacco as adults.
Yeah, but what's the point of these things? When we have Governor Murphy giving butt clauses into everything.
Right. Go back.
I mean, what the hell is the point of this?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now you got a young girl who's pregnant. I got a couple more for you. You got a young girl who's pregnant, and if it's not illegal. So you're 14, 15 years old. You're pregnant. What's the big deal? So let's go back. Now that's the woman. Now this is adolescence. Cannabis and the adolescent brain. And I know, but this is biological science. This was another article, January 7, 2020. And and this is the risk, and it goes through here. But I just wanted to throw this out. This is, and people could look on our YouTube channel. Can you see that? Can you see it here?
Yeah.
And they're trying to. And this article basically says the same situation. What you said: memory loss, and difficulty studying. And I'm just going to go here. They did the rat data, but I just want. I'm sorry about these things that pop up here. And it's another great story, but it's affecting these kids' brains. And what's interesting to me, Jeremy, they said that that gene variants linked to increased schizophrenia risk were more likely to use cannabis and to use more of the other. It's changing actually the brain chemistry. See, here's the interesting. Clearly, there's something unique about the adolescent brain that makes it specifically sensitive to THC.
Yeah, of course it's going to change. You're introducing something foreign into your body. Of course it's going to make changes.
Well,
whether
but
it's
alcohol,
in the brain or
but here's the thing,
elsewhere.
doesn't look like alcohol does this as bad, or even marijuana.
No, but it still affects your brain.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Jeremy. Yes, but a lot of people say, well, you know what? I've drank when I was younger. I smoked cigarettes. You know, there's a lot of people who are brilliant and smoke cigarettes. They die of cancer, but it never affected their brain. Alcohol can. Alcohol, I've seen it cause alcoholic encephalopathy, but marijuana seems to be a lot different.
I don't know. I think if you become an alcoholic, the alcohol's affected your brain.
Let me go here. Now, we talked about...
Nobody
So-
goes out intentionally to become an alcoholic.
Okay, so what they're saying here is that mental illness. So this one article, I just want to go through. This one article, cause and effect conundrum. It's kind of this way, that way, but here's one in Sweden, 45,000 people. They think it could push you into schizophrenia, things like that. But let's not get crazy. Here's the one here. Do you agree with this one? This is cognitive clues.
Cognitive clues.
Right.
Yeah.
Among many parents, educators, and policymakers, cognitive impairment, not mental illness, is the biggest concern. But once again, Alzheimer's has not provided definitive answers about whether it changes, its use is temporary or at some point become irreversible. So it's not this that doesn't happen, but is it reversible? And here's one. There's a lot of studies here. Again, you have to be really important. Now, here's one. I don't think there's any compelling evidence that moderate levels of use are going to produce long-lasting kind of effects. This is one person, but the other person comes back and says we're not sure. My point is we don't know. If you look at this literature,
what's considered a moderate amount of marijuana? I'd like to know that. What's the difference?
Right. But here's, you know what, Jeremy? And this is a good point here, because I like to be both sides of the coin. So here's one here. This is director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse in Bethesda, Maryland, says that there is enough information to be concerned. The problem with there's enough information to be concerned on the negative side. The problem with marijuana is that we have data right now that go in all directions. What we're doing is building a study to answer the question of whether use of marijuana in adolescence affects the structural and function of the human brain, and whether it actually leads to cognitive and psychological disruption, she says, adding, there's urgency to establish this. But we don't know. But in this state, in New Jersey, they decriminalized it for anyone under 21. It's bad enough that, I'm fine with illegal marijuana. You understand? I'm fine with that. But this governor and in this state said, go ahead, smoke it. Enjoy yourself. Is that right? Now, I know they're trying to change it, and they may have changed, but I think all they're going to do is the parents can know. But it should be illegal if you're under 21. Hard stop. Hard stop. Now, I don't put you in jail, I'll give you a ticket. But my point is, okay.
Before it was legalized.
Go back to the whiteboard.
Before it was legalized, was it illegal to smoke marijuana when you were young?
Yeah, it's always against the law.
No, it was always against the law, and you would actually get probably arrested if you had it.
Yeah, and so I understand about.
So why was all that changed?
Well, because
why can't you legalize it, make it for 21 like they did with alcohol, okay, right. and then police it properly? Why do we have to say, oh, you know what? Yeah, but we're going to put a but clause in. It's a law, but it's not a law.
Well, what happened was, Jeremy, is that.
Don't you see how stupid that sounds?
No. I'll tell you why they did it. It says right in the literature. Murphy said that what's happening is that it was disproportionately arresting black youth for smoking pot.
That's
So the
stupid.
white. Let me finish.
I know,
You
I
asked me
know.
the question.
Yeah.
This is serious stuff. You're asking me why. It's in the literature because the police, mostly the white police, were going after the black children and arresting them disproportionately. That was part of it. So they wanted to, in the idea of getting the police out of it, this is what they did.
Where's the proof of that?
That's another argument. I don't have the information right in front. You're asking me the why. I just telling you the why. So again, maybe good intention, but bottom line is you have a drug that is very dangerous. I'm a doctor. I mean, I see, we talk about it. Now, let me go back to the thing here. There's one more here, okay?
I mean, bear in mind, the same governor was screaming about the importance of wearing masks.
Well, listen, he's all about the science. So let's give him the science. Remember that, like, watch the science, follow the science.
And now we find out that science they were talking about was beer.
So this is from the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, right? Which is, they told us to follow the CDC. So here's the CDC. What are short-term effects of marijuana on the brain? This is CDC, right out of there. You go right there right now. Here it is here. Recent marijuana use, defined as within 24 hours in youth and adults, has an immediate impact on thinking, attention, memory, coordination, movement, and time perception. How much? If you smoke one joint or have a couple puffs, should you be driving a car?
No.
But, okay.
But they do.
Okay.
But they do anyway.
What are the long-term effects of marijuana on the brain? Marijuana affects brain development. Let me repeat that. Marijuana affects brain development, according to the CDC. Developing brains such as those in babies, children, and teenagers are especially susceptible to the harmful effects of marijuana and THC. Although scientists are still learning about the effects of marijuana on developmental brains, studies suggest that marijuana use by mothers during pregnancy could be linked to problems with attention, memory, problem-solving skills, behavior in their children. Using marijuana before age 18 may affect how the brain builds connections for functions like attention, memory, and learning. Marijuana's effects on attention, memory, and learning may last a long time or even be permanent. But more research is needed to fully understand these effects. Youth who use marijuana may not do as well in school and may have trouble remembering things. The impact of marijuana use on the brain depends on many factors. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is the CDC, who the governor in this state threw up our face every time with Corona. So why, if the CDC is telling us this, why did they decriminalize? I'm asking you the question, Jeremy, because I'm just a dumb pumpkin reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon.
I don't know what the frick I am.
So you tell me. So tell me.
All of this, we called. Some of it was called common sense back in the day. Okay, but back in the day, we figured all this out. See. The fact that they're continuing on with this, I feel like I'm complicit in what they're doing because I'm humoring it. Okay, I've taken now I've got to re-educate people that marijuana is addictive and that it might be a gateway drug. We've figured all this out. But see, this is what happens when you don't learn from history. We learned all this stuff within my lifetime. Laws were already put into place, saying that this stuff was illegal, all the harms that they could do, and all of that. Now, hold on. Now it's like it's 2023, and guess what, guys? I think now marijuana might be addictive. Let's write papers about it and let's educate people. It's mental, Mike.
Don't you understand, Jeremy?
This is just like.
Right.
If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the freaking problem.
You know what the reality is, Jeremy? We're two white guys yelling into a microphone, and nobody's listening to us.
Nobody's listening. This
I hate
is
to tell
stupid.
You. I understand that, Jeremy.
And I don't. Yeah. I'm not insulting what you've put together.
I understand.
I'm insulting the fact that you've had to put this together.
Right. It's sad. It's sad that we have to do this,
and I'm disgusted.
Yeah, I know you should be, and that's why. This is why we're going down the tubes, and you wonder why these people do this. Let's go Go back to me for a minute. Now, let me reset this now because I got you going. I love getting you going.
I'm about to pop. So
I know. I can't. I have to take it easy on you. So this is another one.
I can't believe this is. I'm having a conversation about this in 2022.
Yeah. Well, listen. So let me just see. This is okay. Let me see if I can pull this one. Just keep talking. So you
Oh my, unbelievable! Unbelievable. We used to there once upon a time in our science fiction, we used to call the year 2000 the future, and we were going to be such better people. We were going to have cars that flew through the sky, and we were going to have laser guns, and we were going to have hoverboards and stuff. But we didn't get it. We didn't get all that. No, we lost our brains. Okay, we've disregarded lessons that were learnt by our forefathers. Okay, and we started doing everything wrong all over again. And then we started bringing up the reasons why we shouldn't, like it was brand new. That's craziness.
Yeah, I know.
There was a time in my life you'd have been locked up if you just woke up one day and you didn't know what marijuana was, and you started saying, "Oh, I don't know, is it addictive? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Brain health, huh?" I feel like, you see, this is the thing. I feel like the people that are perpetuating this,
right,
that are saying that we need to relearn all of this basic education, which is what I thought it was, okay, are the very people that discovered what a gateway drug marijuana was, and that it was very addictive, and it affected their brain health to such a degree, right?
Right.
That they put all this back into play when we already got out of it. So what's going to happen 30 years from now? What, we're going to be cavemen again? Or we're going to discover that beating your wife is bad again, and you really shouldn't? I can't go through it all over again. It's like a big circle, a vicious circle, some might say, Mike.
Right. So I just want to throw you out here. Listen, I think it's like the movie where somebody goes into animation and then they come back and the world is like stupid. Nobody could do anything.
Yeah.
So this is again, you could pick up 20 I could get 30 really tight articles on this. This is Stanford Medical, okay?
Yeah.
And this was in April 29, 2022, okay? And this is marijuana linked to heart disease and supplements they're talking about may mitigate the risk. But so basically, I pulled this article because I think it was pretty interesting. And the study, so here it is. People who use marijuana have an increased risk of heart disease and heart attack, according to a large study led by the researchers at Stanford Medicine. You guys could go look at this. It's all you could just Google it. It's all over. Tons and tons of papers. The study also showed that the psychoactive component of the drug, known as THC, causes inflammation in the endothelial cells that line the interior of blood vessels, as well as arteriosclerosis in laboratory mice. The inflammation, arteriosclerosis, that's blocking the arteries, by the way. Arteriosclerosis can be blocked by molecule. This is more stages. I'm just going to go here a little bit, but basically,
what does tamp down nausea mean?
Well, when you have
tamp down,
when you have nausea for like you're taking, say you're having chemotherapy,
is that causing it?
No, it reduces it, lowers it down.
Okay.
So people use that for cancer. In the meantime, smoking marijuana could cause cancer.
Are you sure, Mike? I don't know. We got to check with Murphy.
So the same carcinogens, you could look this up. The same carcinogens that are in marijuana are in cigarettes. Marijuana has a significantly adverse effect on the cardiovascular system, says instructor of medicine Mark Chaney, MD, PhD. As more states legalize marijuana use, I expect we will begin to see a rise in heart attacks and strokes in the coming years. Our studies of human cells and mice clearly outline how THC exposure initiates a damaging molecule cascade in the blood vessels. And it's not a benign drug. It's not a benign drug.
And if you look at the picture right there of Joseph Wu, he's got this smile on his face like he just discovered something for the first time. You didn't.
Right. Here's the thing. THC and inflammation. The researchers analyzed the genetic and medical data of about 500,000 people.
You wasted your life, buddy. We already knew all this stuff.
No, well, we don't know that. You say that, but I don't understand why you say that because
we knew it was bad. It's like fire.
You're one of the,
Are
you're
we
you
going to
know.
circle back and discover? Well, I don't know if fire.
No,
Can you smoke fire?
Well, Jeremy, it's funny that because your perspective, but you got to understand, there's 400 million people in this country, and there's billions in the world. Yeah. You look on TV, people will listen to this and they'll tell us we're conspiracy. There's no evidence. Now listen to this here, right here. The researchers found that frequent marijuana smokers who also more likely than non-smokers to have their first heart attack before the age of 50. I know 3 people that smoke heavy marijuana and had big-time heart attacks. They got stents, and 6 months later had another heart attack because they kept on smoking pot. Now, the unusual medical event called a premature heart attack that increases a person's lifelong risk of subsequent heart attack, heart failure, and life-threatening arrhythmias can cause sudden death. Inflammation of blood vessels is a primary hallmark of arteriosclerosis. Researchers found that the level of inflammatory molecules in the blood of volunteers who smoke marijuana cigarette increased significantly over the subsequent 3 hours. They further showed that THC promotes inflammation, hallmarks of arteriosclerosis in human epithelial cells. Okay, bottom line is, I don't want to bore you with this, but this is interesting because THC binds to receptor CB1, and you wonder if a lot of these people who died in this country of corona were heavy marijuana smokers. I like to see that study. That'd be a great study because these young people who died.
That would be great if you're allowed to have studies about that stuff.
Well, that's a good point too. Okay, so here it is. But frequent marijuana use causes inappropriate activation of CBI, which can cause inflammation and arteriosclerosis, and is associated with obesity, cancer, and diabetes. I just wanted to go.
And that's when
Okay, get me out of this.
I know
Jeremy.
you're with me on most of the stuff I'm saying. I
go
know
back.
you can't believe that things are the way they are, especially something as mind-bogglingly obvious as marijuana. Anything that you inhale, any inhalant that gives you like a mind-bending thing.
Just go back to me. Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's back to you.
Okay. No, back. I'm talking about my. Yeah, go ahead. And I'm listening.
But I mean, this is this one. I know.
All right, Jeremy.
Hard
Jeremy.
With this one.
Okay,
I can't.
let's go this way, Jeremy.
We're still doing more.
Let's go. Let's go because people, even though.
Oh, the heart health stuff. Okay.
Okay. So now,
what you said earlier
this
though
is the
about the studies,
right?
Right. And why don't we see those things? See, that's also part of the problem.
People don't read. No.
Like we're not even allowed to ask questions, and we're worried about what officers are allowed to say to children and not say to parents.
They got to have their body. So here's again. Watch the science. Here, follow the science. Follow the science. Okay, follow the science. CDC. Another article from the CDC. Centers for the Disease Control and Prevention. Okay, CDC, 24 hours, save lives, protecting people. That's their motto.
If this is written by Wu again, I'm going to be upset.
Okay, no. This is so this is just one little thing. You go into CDC and ask about marijuana and heart health. This is government, United States government. Okay, marijuana can make the heart beat faster and can make blood pressure higher immediately after use. It could also lead to increased risk of stroke, heart disease, and other vascular disease. Most of the scientific studies linking marijuana to heart attack and strokes are based on reports from people who smoke marijuana as opposed to other methods of using it. So that's key.
Read that last sentence there, though. That's the big one. Marijuana smoke also delivers many of the same substances researchers have found in tobacco smoke.
Right.
These substances are harmful to the lungs and cardiovascular system.
Right. Smoking marijuana delivers THC and other cannabinoids in the body. Marijuana smoke also delivers many of the same, like you said, substances researchers found in tobacco smoke. These substances are harmful to lungs and cardiovascular. They cause cancer. So I expect to see increased cancer deaths or with long-term use of cannabis. It is hard to separate the effects of marijuana chemicals on the cardiovascular system from those caused by irritants and other chemicals that are present in the smoke. More research. So basically, they're not saying that. They're saying that your smoke, either marijuana or cigarettes, you're going to get increased cardiovascular disease, heart disease, but they're not so sure if it's the smoke itself, the chemicals in there, or the the THC, which is interesting. We have an article up there from 1946 where all the doctors were smoking smoking cigarettes. So here, this is the CDC. They're not saying it may be, possibly. They're saying it does. Now, again, if this is at a CDC that our governor in this state followed, why are we letting children smoke it? Why did we decriminalize it and make it not delinquent or not criminal? Why can't the parents be informed? Why can't they get a ticket? Why can't the cops take it away?
Well, man,
Wouldn't that be?
What does it matter if 40 years from now we're not going to hear all of this again? Like it's the first time we've learned.
What's going to matter is the kids are going to die. We're killing our kids.
Kids already died over this stuff, and we learn nothing from it.
Well, no, we're trying to teach people. I don't know. Again, Jeremy.
As a people,
let's go.
We should not be where we're at here with this.
You got people.
We should be better. We should be like where's the standard?
Jeremy, how do you fix it? We got to have we have to have these shows on, and we have to talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, but you got to keep it up. Like I said back in my day, don't do drugs. Where are your kids? It's 10 o'clock tonight. All this stuff, we put these things in place as constant and gentle reminders to to the people of this country, our neighbors, okay, that these things are wrong. You got to keep an eye on your kids.
Jeremy,
don't do drugs.
Jeremy, we're done. Listen to me. I'm getting more and more that I say we're done. We're just falling down. The federal government, do you
understand
You're done.
Yeah.
Listen, the federal government, instead of saying just no, N-O, they say just no, K-N-O-W.
Yeah. And that in itself speaks volumes.
Right. So go back to the my iPad. This is the last one. We'll finish. What are we on time here? Because I know you're getting crazy. So this is it. So this is one that I thought was pretty neat here. So this is a sad statement. This goes to with the billboard that I saw down in Bayville. There's a billboard, I told you. It's right there right now in Bayville, New Jersey, December 2022. There's a Hispanic woman. Doesn't matter what she is, white, black, but there's a woman. She's pregnant, and it says, "Are you addicted and are pregnant? We could help you." So this is now. So this article here.
Oh yeah, we talked about this last week.
Right, drug deaths among pregnant women hit a high record. Okay, and they go in. But here the number of pregnant women and new mothers dying from drug overdose grew dramatically as the pandemic took hold. Think about it. If you're pregnant and you die of drug overdose, not only you die, the kid dies. Oh, but I don't know if anybody really gives a shit. That's two people that died.
Well, is it really counted as a person?
I count it as a person.
That's why we talk about all these topics. They all bleed into each other. If one thing is like this, then it's going to affect the other and the other and the other. It's all so stupid. Like, we knew what common sense was. Just follow your common sense.
So go here. They don't have common sense. So researchers but you know what? We need to change the law in New Jersey. And so researchers at Columbia University School of Public Health looked at the death certificates of 7,642 people who died while pregnant or just giving birth, 2017 to 20. Of those, 1,249 died of drug overdose, usually from methamphetamines, cocaine, or opioids, fentanyl. Synthetic, excuse me. And my point is that, you got pregnant women doing drugs. Back in the day, I know people smoked. Now listen, people who were pregnant smoked cigarettes, and they didn't know that it was dangerous. I don't think a lot of these people think or understand that these drugs are dangerous. When the government says just no, when the New Jersey allows children to smoke and don't want cops to bust their ass, aren't you sending out a signal that it's okay? And I know what you're saying, Jeremy, but people don't know what we just talked about. They don't.
Here's a for
and
instance.
And the government's not telling them. Show me where they're.
Let me jump this out before I forget it. Okay, there was put into place a law. Okay, called the it was called the Good Samaritan Law. Okay,
right,
and that was if common sense shows you that somebody is in harm or is being harmed in some way, and you have a means to do something about it, to make it better or fix it, and you don't, you could be arrested because you did nothing. You just turned away.
No. It's the opposite. No. It's the opposite. No. In other words, well, wait. For the Good Samaritan law is if somebody's dying on the side of the road, you could give them help. You can't be sued if you screwed up on the help.
Yeah, but you should be helping them.
No, but there's no law that you have to help anybody.
In Pennsylvania, there is.
Oh, well, I never heard that.
Well, my point in saying this is...
Yeah, but get, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know. Yeah,
essentially what it is a common sense law. If you can help somebody, right, and you don't, you're not following common sense. Obviously, if somebody is hurting and crying out for help, you help them, okay? So why can't we create a blanket common sense rule or law or whatever? If you know the fundamentals of what's the difference between what's right and what's wrong, and you continue to show that you don't, and you keep on doing wrong again and again and again, you're in jail, and that's it.
Well, you got to understand, Jeremy, you're opening up a can of worms because a lot of people don't believe that these things are wrong. They don't believe that, abortion is wrong at any time. In New Jersey, the law, listen, you have to understand reality. And I know where you're coming.
Those are heavy political
no, but it's
topics,
but it's the law, though.
I mean, yeah, I know, but I get it. I get that.
We have there's no listen. You don't. I can tell you right now, there was a girl getting raped right in front of people in the subway, and nobody did anything because they were afraid. One guy somebody stopped a robbery from going on. He got shot, by the robber. My point is that we're in a tough time right now. I'm pointing these things out, and I know you get upset, but you have to
get upset with the world.
Right. Well, you are. Yeah. The bottom line is, let me just go here. I want to get this fact out. I want to get this. This is the reality, and we'll wrap this up. State New Jersey has marijuana law. They just enacted it 2 years ago. We voted on it, and I think most people who voted on it thought that it was for anyone over 21 could smoke it. It's going to be, only at home. You can only have so much on.
So common sense.
Right, and that's okay. I have no problems with that. I was cool. I didn't vote for it, but I think. But here's the deal: I respect and I honor, and I have no problems with the law written that way. If you're over 21, you want to smoke. You want to smoke in your house. You shouldn't be smoking driving. Okay, but now the government, our liberal leftist government, and I can tell you right now, they could throw me off. We're going towards communism. We talked about this. They enacted, whether or not it was good or bad, whether or not they had good reasons for it, to let children smoke marijuana. They decriminalized it, and they made it not delinquent, which means all these children could smoke it, and they took away the ability for the police to tell the parents, or even for the police to get interdiction, maybe give them a ticket. I don't think if you smoke and you're under 21, you should be put in jail. But how about a $50 fine? And how about let the parents know? And if you get a whole bunch of them, you got to go to treatment. Now the law might have changed in this when this is going out right now. The law might have changed. I don't know. I haven't seen. There was legislation to change this, but the legislation was pretty. My opinion, just to let the parents know. It didn't decriminalize it or make it delinquent. And I think you need to have stopgaps. You need to have what's the word I want to use, Jeremy? Ramifications. You have to have consequences. Thank you. Consequences. You need to have consequences, and I just pointed out 3 or 4 articles. There's hundreds. The CDC is saying that it's disease.
My point is, though,
so
with all of this, it just took us an hour to say that there should be consequences. Okay, that there is something terribly wrong where 2 guys like us have to take time out of our day to let people know that there are consequences for your actions, not just for you, but for others. I mean, that's
Jeremy. The new appointed Supreme Court justice doesn't know the definition of a woman.
Of a woman, yeah. I mean, and again,
okay,
that's stupid.
Okay, you got a Senator Fetterman in Philadelphia,
brain damaged.
You got a president who is got dementia.
They voted in a guy from Pennsylvania, a representative, who is actually dead. I mean, they just voted him in anyway.
My thing is, we're in a crazy world right now, and we're losing our common sense. I forget about Biden being right or left. He's an old man. He shouldn't. we need. I mean, Fetterman had
I
a
think
stroke.
more of us need to be angry about this stuff. Like, really,
Well-
really just put off by it and put out by it. I mean, the fact that this stuff is still going on,
Jeremy,
still,
Jeremy, let me make a point though, because we're arguing.
because it makes you wonder if we're ever going to get there,
Jeremy,
or if we're just going to keep doubling back and screwing everything up for ourselves.
This is what I want to make you understand. These elections that we just had, half the Republicans didn't go out. Half the people didn't go
I know.
vote. And then the other thing is, I don't know if people give a shit. And there's a lot of people who want these people there. They want socialism. You know, these people have very leftist agendas, and you have to understand. There's people who want it. If you don't believe in religion,
I think people didn't go out, and I think the reason why they didn't go out was because they don't feel their votes mattered. But unfortunately, they do if you get enough of them out there.
My point is the world's crazy. I just want to make a point about
the world is crazy.
Let's because we're going to end this. So marijuana, we could go off in this whole thing.
Sure.
A lot of people have to understand that if you want to change this, you need to write to your governor, you need to write to your legislators, and say, listen, marijuana is a bad drug. I don't think it should be illegal. I don't think it should be legal for children under 21. Now, some people say 18, but 21. You know, the marijuana law is 21. If alcohol, so this is not only marijuana. The bill is alcohol, and we see it on the beaches. I see it where. So what should be done is there should be law enforcement where the police could go in. If a kid is smoking under 21, they could take the pot away, take the alcohol away, and they have to summon the parents. Okay, or they could summon the parents, or they give them a ticket, and they give them a $50 fine. Okay, and if they get what's that?
Put the camera on you.
Oh, I'm sorry. If they get a whole bunch of fines, then they could get in trouble. This is something that we should be thinking about right now, and you should vote these people out. Now, again, hopefully they change the laws since we talked about this. But I want everybody out there to understand that this is crazy stuff, and it's not right, and it's dangerous. And we just like cigarette smoking in the beginning. Oh, it was fine. I remember when I was a kid, they used to give out cigarettes on the beach. They gave them in the military. There was battles about how it doesn't cause cancer. Does anybody in this country believe now, or any in the world, that cigarettes are okay for you? No. But if you want to smoke and you're over 21, that's fine.
When I started smoking when I was over 21.
Right.
When I started smoking, I knew it was bad for me. I knew I could get cancer. I knew all of these things, and I still did it anywhere because I didn't give a shit.
Right.
And I figured, and the entire time I smoked, I always thought to myself, well, eventually I'm going to have to quit because I don't want to die from all the things I already know can come from it.
Right.
And I did quit. I mean, but I could easily have kept on smoking and then just died.
But Jeremy,
why? I'll tell you why. Because I was a friggin' idiot, and most people are.
I just want to, just before we go me one more time. I just want to because you talk about how people.
You want to do
just go. I just want to show you something here. This is a great thing here, and I want, because when you talk about how everybody should notice preventing marijuana use among youth and young adults, and this is an interesting paper here, but I just wanted to show you something here. It said here, perceived risk. See right here in this was in 2015. 85% of 12th graders perceived great risk of harm from regular use of heroin, crack, but marijuana was like nothing. But only 12% of 12th graders see experimenting with marijuana is any great risk. And so, there's a lot of studies here. There's people coming out, and they look at these people like you talk about, don't they know? And there's a lot of people who really, when you do the studies and go out there and look at all of the, ask these kids about questions and adults, they'll come out and tell you can get rid of that. They'll tell you that, oh no, it's no big deal. Marijuana's not a big deal. So I think that going to your perspective and your point, it's more complicated than that. We need to educate. We need to let parents know in this state that everybody thinks that the marijuana law is 21 and that's it. It's not.
So, but my point is that it can't be a month. Oh well, it's marijuana informational month. It can't be a week. It can't be a special day. It's got to be all the time. All the time we got to tell people drugs are bad. Don't do drugs.
Who has to tell them though?
As a people,
Who?
all of us.
But what about our government?
They should be paying for public service announcements on the TV like they used to. If we could find the money then, we can find it friggin' now.
Jeremy, that's here. They're over here encouraging it. Forget about being neutral. They're not neutral. They're not even neutral. Like, whereas here is don't do drugs.
But my point is,
they're
though,
over here saying
back in the
do
day,
and we won't arrest you.
Those guys over there put up those public service announcements because they so believed in it. All right, they flip-flop on their politics just to be able to get back into office again and to maintain their office.
Jeremy, I'm going to tell you one thing,
mean,
and I'll leave you with this.
Yeah,
a big part of this is money.
Oh yeah, of course.
A big part of this is money.
Power.
Who is
Money,
selling?
power.
Who's selling? Who's making money on marijuana? The state's going to make a lot of money, or they think they are anyway. And then one other thing, Jeremy, is marijuana use legal in the federal government?
Yeah.
No.
What? No, really?
No.
Not even
no.
medicinally? By a doctor?
No, medical, but recreational marijuana is, as far as I know, federal law does not. It's still illegal.
Right.
The states have been doing this on their own. These are state mandates. So I guess the federal government is going to have to come down eventually. It's interesting. You know what? You know one of the reasons why I don't. It's a dangerous drug. Anyway, I think that people should look at our whiteboard here. Listen, I'm done. We had a great day.
Yeah. The 9 words on our whiteboard over there.
Here's your whiteboard. Marijuana safe? I guess the answer is no. Gateway drug? Yes. Addictive? Yes. Brain health? Brain damage? Yes. Heart disease? Yes. So there you go. We answered the questions. Thank you very much, Jeremy.
Hey, for more information about Dr. Kachmar, all these things we talk about, please go to JerseyShoreFootAndLegCenter.com. Also, please share our program with your friends out there. Let them know, how just screwed up the world is, because it really is. And we're trying to make it better, and you can help us do that. So until then, I beg all of you, be kind to each other, show tolerance, and let's start getting angry about the right things and not the wrong things.
Well, you got to get out and vote. You got to vote. That's the way to do things. Yeah. We still have a democracy in this country. So vote, vote, vote. Anyone, listen, thank you, everyone. Follow up with Dr. Kachmar. Send us an email, drkachmar@icloud.com. Subscribe on YouTube. Please subscribe and like. Thank you very much.